Can you just come closer, product? Thoda piche. Is it go? Can you go this back a little? Thank you so much, Lara. Yeah, it's okay. I can go that side? Okay. So let me just want me to come this side. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting product. आपको किस तरफ चाहिए बोलिए So maybe we can come stand this side. Yeah, that's good enough, I think. Yeah, do that. Come here. Done? Yeah, we just have a discussion, I think, now. We can start the discussion now?
Yes, we can start the discussion.
Chairs, please.
Mukesh. ले लो ना.
Doctor, can you come this side? Please.
Thanks.
So good afternoon, everybody. Now, I'm Sunil Kataria from Godrej Consumer Products Limited, and let me just quickly do some introductions while actually many of them don't need any introductions. Well, first of all, we all know Lara Dutta, who's a leading Indian actress, a model, and who has been Miss Universe 2000. So I think let's give her a big clap anyway. Then we have Mahesh with us, Mahesh Bhupathi. I think, again, no introduction required, but let me just do a bit of round of honor. The better half of Lara is okay, that's the first introduction. He's the better half of Lara. And he's the first Indian to win a Grand Slam tournament. And that's an amazing achievement. And actually with his achievement, his win, so let's give a clap for that as well. And with his win at Australian Open mixed doubles in 2006, he joined the elite group of 8 tennis players who have achieved a career Grand Slam in mixed doubles. And that I think is an amazing achievement and something we all Indians can be very, very proud of. And lastly, we have Dr. Muklesh Sanklecha with us. He's a practicing pediatrician consultant at Bombay Hospital and somebody who has done some great work at studies in the area of child development and progress. So welcome, Dr. Mukesh, as well.
Thanks.
So Mahesh, maybe I'll need you to be a little ahead so that I can just, so Mahesh, Lara, and Mukesh, we'll just start with a bit of a discussion on this thing. See, one of the things that, the context of this whole panel discussion is that India, the country, we've been facing a huge challenge in vector-borne disease. And, we read about these whole cases of dengue and chikungunya, which are just spreading even the biggest cities to small towns. And one of the studies which we did, and we find out that one of the things which people don't know in India is that dengue, actually the daytime mosquito. And when people are told that, then one of the biggest fears they have is that, oh, how can I let my child go out to play? That becomes a very, very big concern for most mothers. So tell me one thing, from your point of view, Lara, how important it is for a child to actually, and you're a mother yourself, how important do you think it's for a child to actually be able to free to go out to play rather than sitting at home?
You know, I think we grew up, both Mahesh and I, we grew up in a generation where you came back from school, you threw your school bag down, you ate whatever was put on the table for you, and then you were out of the door. You know, and then you came back when the street lights came on or when it was dark, getting dark, and you came back to do your homework, have your dinner, you know, prepare for school the next day and go to sleep. So we spent a considerable amount of our lives outdoors, especially Mahesh. You know, he played tennis since the time he was 3 years old. So he was on a court, you know, perpetually. But I really find, ever since I did become a mother, you know, that one of the hardest things for us, one is, of course, an environment in a city like Mumbai, in an urban landscape. Where do you send your child to play? You know, so the children are either playing downstairs in the building, you know, or if you're living in a bungalow, sending them out, you know, out of the gate is impossible because it's right on the road. Otherwise, they go to the parks and play. So the environment, 2 is safety. Is your child safe, you know, when they're out there playing? And 3 is exactly and rightly, as you said, you know, are they going to be exposed to, you know, kind of sicknesses, diseases, things that, I mean, apart from minor cuts and bruises that children get, but the more, you know, riskier things, the more dangerous things like dengue, like chikungunya, like malaria. And so this is a very, very key factor for any mom. And I was saying it earlier on upstairs when we were having this chat. I said one of the things is, you know, we get up every day and we have our baths and we put on moisturizers. Our children today are putting on, you know, mosquito repellent because you can't actually have a normal, regular day without being protected. And as you said, people are largely unaware about the fact that dengue is actually spread by a mosquito that, you know, operates, if you want to use the word, in daytime. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Lara, for that. Doctor, you've been doing a lot of research on child development and progress. What do you, how much time, how much role do you think kids playing outdoors and going outdoors plays in the development of a child at an early stage?
Oh, I think it's a huge issue. There are 2 aspects that you talk of when a child goes out to play. One is the effect it has on his physicality, in terms of his activity, his fitness, in terms of obesity. There is a huge epidemic in the US where almost 30% of children are obese. And it's rapidly coming into India. We find a contradiction in this country. We have extreme poverty, abject poverty and malnourished children. And at the opposite extreme, we have children from affluent areas who are obese. So in terms of obesity, it's a major issue. In terms of development of major and subtle motor skills, going out is important. Not just that, that is the health aspect. The other major issue is the psychological aspect that a child has when he goes out to play, in terms of winning, in terms of losing, in terms of waiting for his turn, following rules in a game, in terms of his overall development in that time, in terms of peer interaction, interacting with children from different strata, somebody who's affluent, somebody who's poor, taking care of smaller children, following advice from bigger children, learning new games. So I think the potential for education in an unstructured manner is incomparable in natural, everyday evening play. I remember when I was a small child, as Lara rightly says, we used to throw the bags and we used to go out and play. And my mother had made a rule that for 1 month before every term exam, I had to stop going down to play. And I used to be in tears. I used to wait. Now you have unit tests, you have exams every week. And I don't know where the free time is there for children to go and play. I have children who go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning. They may have a formal football class before that. They are in school from 9 to 3. They come back home. They go for tuitions. And by the time they are back, they're exhausted. And there is no time for natural, unstructured play. If you talk about safety, you don't stop crossing a road out of fear of accident. You don't stop driving because you're going to get an accident. You just take adequate care, you take precautions. You don't stop what is so critical, what is so important for a child's development.
I think that's a very interesting perspective. And you know, Mahesh, there's been a recent study in India as well as some studies in US as well, which say that when they ask children as to what are your preferences today in terms of going out to play, going to a park, going to a mall, 20% of kids actually choose mall and only 12% choose park. Now that's a bit of a real tragedy of our times. So just one thing, suppose this is your time, and Lara was mentioning you were playing tennis since 3. Imagine a childhood with video games for you. Imagine a childhood with digital for you. Could we have seen you becoming a world champion? What is your perspective on this?
No, obviously not. I think, I think a lot of this has to do with the upbringing itself. I think, like Lara said, both of us were brought up in an environment where we were always encouraged to go out and play. Obviously, for me, it was a little different. I had no choice. I was on the tennis court literally 7 days a week. And that's how we bring up our daughter as well. We're fortunate to have a garden, and, Saira started playing tennis now for the last few months. So, yeah, when she goes out, we make sure that she's protected, and just for the record, it's not only a mother's concern, it's a father's concern as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and whatever we use, have been using, hasn't really always been 100% foolproof. She still comes back sometimes bitten, and we're looking forward to trying this new product on her, and hopefully it fixes those problems.
Oh, that's great. So Lara, what do you think from being a mother? What kind of awareness there should be created to mothers today about taking precautions? Because this is something which, as I said, 90% of India doesn't even know that dengue is a day mosquito.
No, of course. We've been talking about children, and, exactly like Doc said, that it's very, very important. Most of your social, interactions, the social skills that you learn, the social skills that a child learns in their formative years are learned on the playground. Rightly so, to share toys, to wait your turns, right. To understand different socio-economic groups, to understand that, children might come from different backgrounds, but at that age, they're all still kids. So this, for us as a parent, was extremely important, that Saira learned these skills, which is not something that we could teach her at home. Sure. And Mahesh and I spend, about 8 weeks in the UK whenever he's there for Wimbledon and the Queen's tournament before that, Queen's Club tournament. And that was actually the only time when Saira was really little that we were able to send her out, to play. And I noticed a marked difference in the motor skills between the kids who, that was a daily routine for them. And they spent all of that time in a playground. And then what Saira was able to do at the same age group, a marked difference in motor skills especially. And Mahesh always has this argument, ever since I've met him, he always says it's very difficult in our country to raise a singles Grand Slam champion. He says because genetically for us and the environment, we don't have the environment to be able to provide the kids, the facilities and everything that they require to make it. But I think this is one of the key things, because like you said, the kids would rather go to a mall, go to a movie, or sit with their iPads or some sort of a screen in front of them. So as a mom, for me, making sure that she gets enough playtime outdoors, like I said, that she's safe, yes, protected in a protected environment, but more than that, that the child is free to play, and she's not worried about being bitten, being stung, or, coming back sick, because now, she's in school full time, and I'm pretty sure most parents over here who have children know the process of getting your kid into the school of, at least the wish list choice that you have. And then once the children are in school, you can't really have them, having a lot of sick leave and days and things like that off. So if a child is going to go out, go into an environment which is supposed to be a fun, relaxing time for her, and then come back sick, it puts you into this vicious cycle where as a mother and as a parent, it's a nightmare to deal with.
Definitely, yes.
So for us, we were saying this earlier, and if I may say this right now, somebody asked me, so what have you been doing for Saira? What have you been using? And I said that we were using, she has extremely sensitive skin, so I couldn't put anything directly onto her skin for the longest time. So we used, which for us was not easily available in the Indian market here, which was, just the patches that went onto the clothing. But again, there's sometimes what we did get over the counter in India was, natural based, which I was very, specific on. But the citronella smell was so strong and overpowering that I couldn't sit next to her, forget about the child living with it the entire time, So that was a problem. And then you couldn't get anything in the market. So we actually used patches that we bought whenever we traveled abroad. And it's an expensive proposition.
Right.
For us, it may be easily, not so bad and is probably affordable, but for most people, it was ridiculously expensive.
That's right. In fact, it costs something 15 rupees a patch or something. Incidentally, while we're talking of fabric roll-on here, we also have launched patches which are just costing, it's very affordable. It's a 75 rupee product for 2 children usage for a month. So what is your thing now as a mother for this product now?
See, I'll tell you the 3 things that immediately stood out to me. One is that it's 8 hours of protection. So it's not something that you have to constantly reapply. So once it's on, you know that at least the child, while the child is in school for the entire time or going out to play, that the child is protected for that duration of time. Second, like you said, it's a fabric roll-on. So it's nice, for me it works perfectly because with a child with sensitive skin, I don't have to put anything directly onto her skin. The third thing, it's very simple, but only a mom can think of this. I like the fact that it has a loop on the top because that allows me to connect it onto my handbag or, you know, her handbag. So if I'm on the go with my child and if it's not about leaving this at home, this goes with me no matter where I go.
In fact, I think, thank you, Lara, that's a very important insight. And in fact, I'll tell you one of the reasons we have given this is because while we don't have it here, this is going to come with a keychain actually, this product. So that exactly the same thing, you can put it in the backpack or the school bag of your child and the child can carry it everywhere.
Lara, where do you put the patch? When you put a patch on the child?
See, normally I put it on the back, you know, so to the back. So also because when they're smaller, they can't remove it because it's
How many times does it happen? Child comes back from school minus the patch?
Sure, many times. Many times over.
Yeah, so a roll-on, that risk is not there. Because children are extremely mischievous. If she doesn't take it out, somebody else will do that for her.
Yeah.
So Mahesh, what do you think? Now, how does this product look for you? You feeling good about this product, that this is something really innovative?
Yeah, as Lara said, I think, you know, we're looking forward to trying it out, and, you know, there's so many benefits to having not only a product that's affordable, but, you know, like she says, no, we don't have to apply it on the skin and so on and so forth. So we're looking forward to trying it on.
Thank you so much. And one last question maybe for Mahesh for you.
I might steal some of Zaira's and put some on quite regularly myself.
We're going to give you a lot of them. That's not a problem. Mahesh, you have been, you're one of the best champions India has produced. Maybe for the media and for all of us. And since we are today talking of letting kids go out to play and live their life. In fact, the whole thought here is, khul ke jiyo ghar ke bahar. You know, that's our whole brand thought for this brand. What is the biggest lesson that you learned as a kid when enjoying outdoors?
You know, I spent my whole life outdoors. I think over 50% of my life has been outdoors because I've been on the tennis court most of my life. So I don't know if it'll be a biased answer. I mean, it's not, you know, you can't compare it to, I guess, everyday people. But, you know, for me, you know, from playing tennis before going to school to going straight from school onto the tennis court with my dad, my whole life was outdoors. And, you know, these kind of luxuries that you guys are manufacturing today, we didn't have 20, 25 years ago. So, you know, sure, I had all the diseases, all the kids picked up while we were growing up, and, you know, hopefully, you know, we can, you know, slow that down at least.
I think Mahesh has raised a very valid point. I think we have to put our fears a little on the back stand. You know, I think we are becoming overprotective about our children.
That's right. Yeah. So I think it's a very candid kind of conversation, and I think, you know, Mahesh has given us some great insights of what it is all about to be outdoors. Some amazing insights which only a mom can give, Lara, that I can really, see, because we've seen, while doing this product, we did a lot of researches with moms. I can tell you some of the points that you're talking about all came out that. In fact, this loop came out of that mom research only, which only a mom can think of. It didn't strike us that we need to give a keychain. And I think, Doctor, thank you very much for making such a fantastic perspective on how we really need to put our fears aside. And I think the whole point which I just want to sum up and close the discussion here is that for kids, it's very important to go and enjoy the outdoors and live a full life while parallelly working on their studies and trying to focus on career. We need to make them complete, rounded people. And in that, we have to put our fears aside, and we need to tell them, khul ke jiyo ghar ke bahar. So that's it from our side. Thank you very much. And I thank you all of you for being here in the discussion. So any questions, we can open the house for discussion. Yeah, we can have a question here.
Hello, good afternoon to all. This is for
We can have
Lara Dutta. I'd like to ask you how safe are these products for daily use? Is there any chemical inside?
I'm not the manufacturer of the product, so that would have to be.
So I'll give the answer to that maybe. In fact, maybe that's something which I mentioned in the beginning. It's a product, if you see on this pack, the biggest thing which is written on this is 100% natural. This product has no chemical into it. It's 100% natural active. It is made of eucalyptus oil, in fact, inside, and it is also recommended by pediatricians. And in the pack, very clearly claims child safe. So this is a 100% natural active product.
Is there an expiry date for that?
This lasts for how long? 2 years. So it's a 2-year product.
And my question to you is, there's malaria, dengue, everything is going on. Is it good for your company?
Okay, first of all, we don't look at... Okay, so let me tell you a thing. We don't take enjoyment of actually, making people ill. That's not the business we are in. Because first of all, we are not only an insecticide company. And Godrej is a brand which is what internally we call ourselves a 118 years young brand. And I think we don't need to introduce Godrej as a brand. Trust is something which we value a lot. And we are not only an insecticide company. But having come to your question, our mission is really to be in insecticides to make a category which helps India solve the problem of vector-borne diseases. And I can tell you, you talk to anybody in our company, that's something which as a social cause we'll live with. Now, if these diseases happen, it leads to more sale, that to mind is financial quarterly answers. But the bigger purpose for us for making this product, we also made, for example, Goodnight Fast Card 2 years back, which is that paper product which burns in 1 rupee. We made it for rural areas in India. Now, the reason for making these products which don't exist anywhere else is that we want to help our country somehow fight this vector-borne disease, which are becoming a very big challenge. Having said, yeah, when these incidences happen, it do lead to pickup of sales. But that doesn't make us any happier.
Hello. Is this product safe for newborn babies?
Yeah, this product is child safe, but what we recommend for babies is the way to use it. This product is child safe. In fact, when we did a lot of researches, let's say if you have newborn babies in cots, what we'd recommend is, and we've seen a lot of consumer insight only, again a mom told us that, you know how I'll use this product? That I'll put it 4 dots on the cot. You know, so you can do that very easily. But at the same time, on a newborn baby, you can put it in the cloth of a newborn baby as well. This is a child safe product.
Hi. Is this product will be available online on like sites like Amazon, Flipkart?
Yeah, this product has it. Have you already started selling? Yeah, we already got listed across all online sites, and the product is already got distributed across the country in a large part of general trade, modern trade, and yes, it's gone listing on online as well.
One more. So Lara just said that the smell used to really bother her. So I haven't used this yet, obviously. So does it have a bothering smell, the eucalyptus?
No, it's got a very different kind of a smell because, you know, again, the fragrance is something which we tested. In fact, one of the biggest things that we tested very rigorously, we would have tested 5 different fragrances across consumers when we made product. There were 5 different fragrances. And finally, this fragrance is one which is, and you know, you will never get a 100% score ever on any fragrance because fragrance is something which is very subjective. Like none of us, if 100 people are here, you will get maybe 10 to 15 different perfumes which will be liked by people here. So that's one thing which you have to keep in mind. We have got a score of something like around, on that fragrance, 75% people gave it #1 score. So we've gone with that one. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, there's a...
हटा दे.
Yeah, okay, ठीक है, okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, photographers. I think you got your numbers. So we're going to soon play the commercial, the ad which has been created. It's an interesting ad for all the people who are sitting there. Let's enjoy the ad. In the meanwhile, we set up the stage for your interactions. All right, here you go.
पूरी बात तो सुन ले, इसको लगाए बिना मत जा।
गुड नाइट फैब्रिक रोल ऑन।
कपड़ों पे 1 2 3 4 नो मच्छर बाइटिंग करके बाहर जाऊं। जा
100% नेचुरल गुड नाइट फैब्रिक रोल ऑन।
Third one.
बैक से हटा देंगे
देखिए